some of these around his ankles.
He probably does.
Yeah. Oh, well, he might like that too.
Like I said, I know a lot of people know your grandparents, Chris, and you know they know the stories from the the movies and all that other stuff. But tell us about yourself. Like what are you all about, and what's the foundation all about? Yeah, leave me out. It's been trying to leave me out of this whole show.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's been crazy. So yeah, everybody, just so you all know tonight, Dana is going to actually kind of run the show. Well, good evening, everybody. Dana is going to be here in a few minutes. She had something she had to do real quick, so for right now, it's just me. So welcome, everybody. I hope you guys like the new intro. Let me get the comments on here. Like I said in the broadcast title, like it's going to be a really, really open show for questions. So if anybody has questions, go ahead and fire them away, or any topics that you want to talk about. I've got a couple in mind, in case nobody asks questions, and if no one's going to interact, then this will be a short one. So I had a quick thought on there was a nasty wreck on I-75 this morning in between Ottawa River and Alexis. A very, very violent crash. It was a police chase, and the guy ended up going the wrong way on 75. And to me, it looked like he was aiming for those trucks, and he wham smash. So my question would be so we all talk about energy and stuff all the time, and positive and negative energy and all that stuff. I mean, if you were to take a medium to that site that didn't know anything, do you think they would be able to pick up on that burst of, it's a massive energy output? And Einstein talks about how once energy is created, it can't be destroyed. So that has to, I don't know if there's any energy people on here, maybe explain to me how that works a little bit. And just on cue at 7:06, the dog starts barking because she knows that we're live, and that's what she does. So she figures, I guess, if we're gonna use her name on the show, she's gonna just ruin it however she wants to, and she's totally fine with it. So if anybody has a comment about the question that I just asked about, the energy burst into the atmosphere, from an event like that, from a crash, let me know. If mediums pick up the dead, would they be able to pick up energy, or would that be a physics gift? Mediums pick up the dead. Would they be able to pick up that? Not quite sure what you mean by that, Don. Maybe elaborate. Oh, so you're, if I'm getting this right, and that's probably not a question for me. So you're saying basically there's a difference between mediums and psychics, and that's something I know there's a medium there is a difference. I just don't know what it is, because I know if you call a psychic a medium, I think sometimes they get offended, and I don't know that mediums get offended by being called a psychic. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think so. I mean,
do you know the difference between the two?
I don't think there's
because Adam is the Black Swamp medium, so he's definitely considers himself a medium. Does Carmen consider herself a medium, or does she consider herself sensitive or gifted? Or
I think she's starting to go more towards the medium.
Okay, because I don't think I've ever heard her refer to herself as a medium.
No, well, I think she's starting to get more comfortable with that, because I think she's starting to get more comfortable with saying that role. One moment, I'm trying to share everything still. Sorry.
Yeah, see, this is what I've heard, Don, is that that is a real thing. He says Kelly called a medium a psychic once, and they got offended. I've heard that before.
Yeah, and I've heard people say that, but I mean, I guess a psychic, maybe mediums feed off of energy, and well, they both do, but maybe a psychic, because they actually see things, and then I don't know.
I wonder if there's a difference in pay grade. Like if you're a psychic, can you charge more to do a reading? Or
I don't know.
But like we did, okay, so we got readings done at the last Collingwood convention.
Yeah.
By what was his name? Scott something?
I don't remember.
Was he a medium or a psychic? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Man, now you got me wondering.
I think he was a psychic.
Okay, this makes sense. So psychics is more seeing the future and reading minds, whereas a medium is talking to the dead.
That makes sense.
Yep. Well, but that's what I'm wondering. Like, so I'm not necessarily talking about that accident on 75, communicating with the person that died. Actually, 2 people died, I think. More like just the energy that was output there.
Okay, so this is something. My sister and I were driving down 75. We're going to Bluffton, and we saw a really bad car accident. And this was when I first started getting my spidey senses going. And literally, as we were approaching, I got this like really deep, harsh feeling. And my sister, she will never admit that, and she hates it because she can sense death. Yep. And both of us got just really like, feeling. And as soon as we got closer to it, I felt like all my energy just pulled away from me as we hit like where that accident was. And then when we went past it, it seems like the farther we got away, like all the energy came back. So I'm like, I think you can sometimes sense it. Like, I mean,
well, that's an empathic
thing too. Yeah. But I think, it's weird because you can, it's just strange because some things like that, when like, okay, for instance, I was an EMT and we used to transport some hospice patients. And I kid you not, this one time we actually got this patient to hospice. Took him from the hospital, took them into hospice. We did not eat. This lady was, I didn't think she was going to go that fast, but we literally got her to hospice and we no more got her inside. Her family was there waiting for her in the room.
Yeah.
We got her in the bed and her grandson came running back out and wanted to thank us because we got her there for them to see to see her last breath, literally. And she says, as soon as you guys walked away, she passed. As soon as you guys left the room, she passed away, and we all got to say goodbye to her quickly. And it was crazy because it was like that same sense. It was just like everybody just, it just seemed, it was weird. It was just a really weird situation.
Oh no.
What?
Fox, are you sure you want to do that? Didn't you? Okay, Fox. So didn't you say that like after we did the investigation at the mill, you guys had some goofy shit happening at your house since then? Boo, shut your mouth. Everybody else chime in here too, because we got a couple new viewers. We were talking about the difference between mediums and psychics and who picks up on what, and I think Don did sum it up right. I think it's the mediums more communicate with spirits that have passed on, but then not always, because like Adam does card readings and stuff, and that's geared towards living people. It's not necessarily really related to dead people, and he's a medium, not a psychic. So, I don't know.
Well, because Carmen, she predict. Well, a couple mediums that I know, people that call themselves mediums, had predicted that I was going to marry a Jeff. Literally, she said a Jeff, and there was like at the point I was like, there's no way in hell I am going to be wearing another Jeff, because that was the ex, and it was like no way, and here I am.
Hey, Fox, are you able to get on for a couple minutes and talk about like what's happened since the old mill? I think people would want to hear that. I definitely want to hear it. If you can, just type yes in the comments and I will send you an invite. Jerry wants to know though, if a spirit chooses where it wants to be, would it? Yeah, I think it would be a residual at the accident site, or okay, I'm gonna spoil the movie The Others. So if you haven't watched it yet, you definitely need to watch it, but like tune out for about 30 seconds or maybe 60. So I'm gonna count down 3, 2, 1. Okay, so everybody's cool with me spoiling the movie The Others. I think maybe in an accident situation it's like The Others, because at the end of the movie, the people that you think are alive the whole time are the actual ghosts.
Dead, yeah.
And I wonder if an accident site might be the same kind of thing. Like you don't know you're dead.
Now, I have actually, again, EMT stuff. I've actually been at an accident where someone has died and literally seen like a fog just move away from the area. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I swear you can see that happen. And I mean, friends of mine have actually seen, this is crazy. And I think there is something similar on YouTube. I think of it, a helicopter taking off, and then you see this bright light shoot from it. And actually the person had passed away as they were taking off. I have seen stuff like that happen, like out of ambulance. You'll see just bright lights.
We're just going to keep talking, but if hopefully the screen doesn't go out. If it does for a second, it's me trying to invite Fox in here. So,
like a bright light coming from back of rigs and that I literally have seen that. So, I mean, it's possible. So.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like I said, Jerry, we were talking about like, I was mainly curious about the energy, not necessarily the person's spirit or, you know, or even a residual haunting, but I was literally talking about the energy of that impact and that, because it was, I mean, it's look it up, the video there, the camera's right on it, and it's my God.
It's bad. But then it's crazy because even down further on it, because this was between Ottawa River and Alexis, closest to Alexis where the 75 accident happened. But then earlier today, around 3:00, there was another fatal car accident on Alexis. And it's like, crazy because someone I guess passed away at that accident too, and somebody said there was a third one, but I don't know where that one was. But it's just crazy. It's like well, they say it comes in threes, but not, you would never think it would be 3 different car accidents in the same day. But
right. Well, I sent Fox an invite, so in case he wants to get on and talk about like what's happened to him since the old mill, and like you said, I don't know who got to see this comment, but he's thinking about getting the Ouija board out again. Fox is the guy that we had on a few weeks ago and talked about the Zozo project. So, and yes, I'm going to say it. I'm not afraid to say it 3 times. This ain't Beetlejuice.
So that leads us to this, our newest thing. We have things coming up missing in our house.
Yeah. So that's another question for the general audience. Have you ever really had something come up missing to where like I really suspect that a ghost took my recorder?
Like literally you think that somebody had to have come into the house and taken it. Now, grant you, I play tricks on Jeff a lot, but I mean, he seriously thought I took I'm like, I did not take this. And we've been, we both tore up the house looking for this.
I'll set it up real quick. So so we went to the mill a couple weeks ago, like everybody knows, because we talked about it last week. And I took the recorder out of the bag, plugged it in the computer, downloaded it, and then I would have only done a couple things with it logically. I would have set it on the desk, which I think is what I did, or I would have put it right back in the bag or somewhere that I could reach from this chair. I would not have stood up and went and taken it and put it anywhere. Yeah, Kelly, we don't have a cat. We got dogs, but I don't think.
Yeah, our dogs Boo would have, but we would, if Boo got a hold of it, we would have been able to.
She would leave crumbs.
She leaves crumbs if she chooses something. And usually we can find it because she takes it to the bedroom and puts it in the bedroom window. When she chooses something, that's where she puts it. If she's hiding something, that's where she would
searched every square inch of this office, every case, every container, under all of the furniture.
He's gone through all the garbage.
Everything. I went through the garbage more than once. I went through all the cases like 4 or 5 times.
I've even gone through everything, and we can't find it. Now, we've had other stuff.
And a week before that, my house key.
Yeah.
The only thing on my keys, which I don't have them in here, but I have one of those mountain hooks. And I never, ever open it up to take keys off. And my house key came up missing. And he hasn't been able to
find it. And then, weirdly enough, though, we've had stuff happening like that, but I don't think we really thought about it because it's just like it's
because we talked to Fox. That's the problem.
Yeah, but there's been like the stuff. It's not been as major as like this stuff is like stuff that's like, okay, you got to find. But we have not found that key, and we have not found the recorder yet.
And like I said, I checked the washer and dryer, thinking, well, maybe I stuck it in my pocket. I checked all the laundry baskets. I've checked every pair of pants I would have
we've checked
Warning
the
those
van,
couple
and
days.
we've checked everything.
And I know it was here because I downloaded the files off onto the computer because I remember doing it. And, you know, anyway, there's proof of that happening. So,
but we've had some, I mean, in the last week, in the last 2 weeks, we've had some negative energy, like that's been present. So this weekend we're getting a good cleansing of the house. But I think it's just been a lot of negative energy that normally doesn't kind of surround us. It's been just a lot. And it's not just me. It seems to be other people I know as well. And, but I don't know if that's been playing part of it too, is that we've had the negative energy.
good evening, Adam.
And so now we're going to be, we're going to be cleansing the house big time because like I said, and this is what's funny too, is like, he'll say he can't find something. I usually can walk in right behind him and I can find it. I can't find it. So if I can't find it, it's gone.
Yeah, this recorder,
I mean, it is gone.
So,
we just don't know where it's at.
Adam, you just joined us. I don't know if you heard the conversation or not, but like, so the recorder that I took to the mill, and I'm not blaming the spirits at the mill or anything like that, but it has come up missing since I put the file onto my computer. And like every time I do that, there's a routine. I either set it on my desk. I'm not going to tell the whole story because everybody else has already heard it, but the recorder has been searched for every square inch of this office. It's freaking gone. So Adam, how many of your clients and people that you talk to have that as a phenomenon? I know that happened at the Maxwell house. That was one of the first few things that started happening with there was like, they always would set their keys on this particular spot and they were missing and they would search the house. Then all of a sudden they're in that spot.
But also then Adam, I don't know if he knows his house key has been missing for, quite some time now too. And it's for at least a month.
Yep.
The house key's been missing. And now the recorder's been missing for about a week, week and a half. And like I said, if I can't find it, it's gone because I usually am the one that can come right in and find it and it's gone. But I've had some odd stuff happening where I've had some little things missing, or like I go to find, like I know I put something somewhere and it's not there, but I find it somewhere else. I've had those little things happening, but nothing like
definitely
his stuff completely just being gone.
Definitely more often than not. I mean, I do misplace things sometimes, so I know. So, I know that I have that problem, but I don't think that's what this is. And here's another funny thing. So this recorder that I bought that's now missing, I bought to replace the other black recorder that I had used at that house that sits out in front of the Collingwood, that dilapidated house. Well, we had interviewed somebody that told us some really, I don't even know that I 1000% believe the person because what they were saying was pretty crazy. Like they found a Bible buried in the front door and they're saying it's under.
Under what? Because we've looked
Adam,
everywhere.
Okay, we've done proved and speaking of that, the video is about a third of the way finished, but I got it'll be out this weekend. So yeah, Adam, go ahead and do a quick remote over here and find that recorder.
Well, it's even weirder though.
That would be a great live experiment.
What?
To see if he can remote over here and
find the recorder. But it's weird though too because my recorder is
you have permission if you'd like to do that.
So yeah, we went to a private case, and ever since we did this private case, the cord to download my recorder won't work, won't download anything.
It's not just the cord because we've tried
several.
Yeah,
but we've tried the cord, and I even bought a new cord, and we can't.
And that's a fairly new recorder.
Yeah, it's not even a year old, and we can't download anything off of my recorder now.
And sometimes too, I'm not necessarily saying that any of this is paranormal, but it's interesting and it gets your mind thinking and I'm just curious how many of you other people have those same kind of problems with things coming up missing that, I don't know.
We've had a lot of crazy. Yeah. I mean, just recently it's been crazy. Like I said, I think so, and I'm like, I don't know if it's just been because this ball of negative stuff that's been going on that it's just like, okay. And it's like, that's part of it. I don't know, but like I said, this weekend it's going.
Yep. I did send you that invite, Fox, if you're still watching. So if you can jump on, just let us know.
I want to know. They're saying it's under. We looked under.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to
everything.
look under everything for the 4th time after I get off the show. Okay,
The only
Adam.
thing we didn't. The only thing is under the.
Is it in the office like I think it would be? I don't know if you can answer that or not, but we'll throw it out there. So, Adam, another thing we were talking about was what is the difference between a medium and a psychic? Because I know sometimes one will get offended by being called the other. You know, is it a pay grade thing? Is it
Pay grade thing?
Is it medium? Is it psychics make more money and they don't want to be called mediums because it belittles them? It's like, it's like saying someone has a college degree when they have their doctorate. They get pretty pissed off. It's like, no, I'm a doctor.
Even their masters.
Yeah.
Different pay grade. But this.
Yeah, let's see what Adam has to say because it's always interesting. Called them afterwards, talked to them. The phone sounded like a person was robotic.
Ooh.
Do you think that was a paranormal thing, or do you think that was a tech thing, like a solar flare or some crazy whatever? But anyway, on a side note, while he's answering those questions, does everybody know that Ghost Hunters filmed at Collingwood? I'm sure most people know that. But that episode is going to air this Saturday. So they're going to drop it on Discovery Plus Saturday. It's going to be on the Travel Channel. I think they said in April sometime. But
yeah, they actually were talking on a lot of the radio stations here in Toledo today. So
he made it sound like they got a lot of really cool things. So
well, and they already said one thing that we pretty much a lot of us know that have gone there, that things fall on you there. They did kind of put that one out there, that they in the basement they had some stuff falling.
He said too that so there was a clay artist that I think in the dead room there's a bunch of molds in a kiln and stuff like that. And I think that was her area that she was talking about, but she had to be moved to a different part of the building because it was so bad down in that basement. She was so scared. So they had to move her upstairs. So Adam says, no, it was legit because it was like a typical cutting in and out or drops, because it wasn't like, yeah.
So mediums chat with the other side.
I'll say this though. So Carmen is one. Every time I call her, not every time, I'd say 2 out of 5 times that I call her, it's like a robotic voice for, the whole conversation until I say, hang on, I can't really understand you. Let me hang up and call you back. So that happens with Carmen. So I don't know. Okay. So Adam says psychics predict and use their guides to provide information. Okay. Well, I mean, don't mediums do that too? Because you do, you do tarot readings and readings for people. Do you consider yourself a psychic then? Or because you kind of, you don't always speak with the dead. You give them guidance as far as what you read in the tarot readings and things like that. Mediums chat with spirits. So are you both? Are you a psychic medium? It makes for riveting radio when you ask somebody a question and wait for them to type it back.
It works.
But no, they said, so that lady had to, okay, so Adam does both. So the lady had to be moved at the Collingwood to, and another interesting thing that I thought that was kind of cool, and I like this approach to it, is that they don't do, or so they say, they don't do any research until after they investigate, because they don't want to be tainted. Or what he said is they filmed here for about 8 days. It sounded like they investigated for 3 before they started doing any kind of research and things like that. But he did say that a lot of people, saw that their vans were there and were coming up on the property and was telling them the stories and things like that. Man, I wish I would have known it, because I would have gone and told them some stories. And then Adam was, when you guys filmed Never Blink, what's the radio lady?
Megan Mick.
Yeah. Was Megan Mick involved in that? Because she was talking about being freaked out by that place when they were filming. She said making a film there. So I don't know. Maybe it was something else, but I didn't know.
I think she was doing something when she was in college. I think it was what she was doing it with.
Filmmaker or something.
Yeah. Because that's what, that was, I think what she was going to college for was filmmaking and that. So, so she wasn't there.
Okay.
I think it was something she was doing when she was in college. So, because I remember her talking about that So I mean, so that's been a while ago.
Yeah. A
that
couple
she was
other
in.
questions too. I'm going to put it out there, and Kelly or Don or both, you guys can put it in the comments. But how are things going at the school? Just curious if anybody's investigated there. Like I said, I'm happy to see that you have demons there now.
This is driving me nuts. Do you see those dancing lights right there?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what's causing
It's
it.
probably a little hair or something in front of the camera.
I know, and it's driving me nuts because I can see it, and it's
So-
staying in the same spot.
Okay, the first one is April 2nd. So yeah, because it's really hard to investigate there in the winter. I mean, you got to really have some stones on you because there's no heat and it's really, really cold. And I imagine so cold it affects equipment and things like that. But so the school is getting ready to fire up again. I actually drove by it today. I was working down in Bowling Green. I was working in Tintagony and had to go to Home Depot and drove by it today. And I don't know. I like that place. I wish I had a place like that to.
I know.
Just anytime I wanted to go do experiments or whatever. It's just it'd be nice to have a home base.
We're trying to find our own little home spot. So if anybody knows of a haunted vacant building they want to just let us take over, we're willing.
Not even take over, just give us access to.
Whenever we want. Yeah. Dana asked, did you wake up around the time of the accident? And actually, this is funny. That is so funny that she asked me that.
So I think it happened at 5, right?
No, it happened at 1 o'clock.
Somebody said
no, it was
Melody, because it was right behind
her house. But this is funny.
What time was it?
I think it was 1 o'clock.
No, I'm asking her. Oh,
yeah.
Adam said 12.
So about 1 o'clock. Okay. So this is weird. I did wake up at that time. Now, mind you.
Actually, I did too.
Yeah.
I woke up at 12:36.
Mind you.
And I was like,
this is so funny because I did have a really hard time sleeping, and I actually came in here and kind of scared. I came up to be funny with them because I actually have been having a hard time sleeping. We had a change in medication, and so I have dogs waking me up all the time, and I literally did get up on my own without the dogs at that time. So it was,
hey, Shelly,
it was probably between that 12:40, 1 o'clock. And so from where we lived to where that accident was,
we wouldn't have heard it.
No, we wouldn't have heard it, but I'm surprised we didn't. But we didn't even hear sirens, which normally we would hear sirens. I didn't even hear sirens, but especially if it was a chase, we would hear them. But we probably only live maybe a mile and a half, not even a mile from there.
Not even a mile. No.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a mile from there. And literally if Melody looked out her back door, if that big wall wasn't there, she would have actually seen exactly where it was at. I mean, she would have been able to see it, and she may have over the wall.
Melody, I don't know when you tuned on, but we actually opened the show with talking about that accident. Like what is the impact of the energy of that spot? Like, is it like, would a psychic be able to tell, oh my God, there's a bad energy here? Like, because it happened, it was such a energy output, like a boom, instant, a burst of energy. So I think we should go over to your house and make a base camp and do a little ghost hunt from. Yeah, how far was it? Like, was it literally right behind your house, or was it to the left a couple houses?
Gabby
or what?
said she could see it. So
okay.
And I think Gabby's bedroom window is right there, looks out right over that way too. So
Shelly and Melody too, you guys are both kind of, I think, joined us a little later. We're just having a general chat tonight. We're just definitely being interactive with the comments and things like that. So if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about or anything like that, just let us know. Yeah. So it was a couple 100 feet away from Melody's house, which is, it was. I think Melody posted the video and that's where I saw it. But man, it was brutal.
It was,
that looked to me, and I don't want to say it and get sued, but to me it looked like the person did not want to go to jail and was it looked like a suicide to me, because he went right in between the two instead of hitting one on the outside. It looked really bad. So
but then thinking of that, like the energy stuff and that. So Carmen and I talked earlier, and because we did our check-in, because Carmen was asking me about my energy, and I had told her that, like, lately I've been there's been a lot of negative, just energy, it seems, around the two of us. And that's not normally what we get, but now it just seems all of a sudden it's starting to shift now. Like yesterday it started to change, so it's getting back, the negatives kind of pulling away again. And
to be clear, like, we're not arguing and fighting
oh
or
no,
anything
it's
like
not.
that, or
No, it's not
nothing
us.
like that.
Yeah, it's just around us, things happening in that around us. But we also, I was telling her too that like I have not been able to focus and concentrate. And at work right now, we're in like the anticipation of our move is coming. So there's a little bit of stress on us with that, because we have a couple people that are moving on and not going with us to the new building. So it puts a little bit of stress on the rest of us. And so we've had that going on. And so it's just been, and then of course we had a car issue.
Yeah.
That was a great thing.
So
I'm getting
blew
a
up
new
a
car.
motor, so
Yeah,
or
I'm
we didn't
getting
blow
a
it
new
up, it
car
just
tomorrow.
happened.
So we're getting it
Yep.
dropped off tomorrow. So, but yeah, so has anybody else been experiencing a lot of shifting with the energy? I know like my ADHD's been in high check. I like it's been bad.
Yeah, but
lately.
too, I mean, that being said, too, you started a new medication about a week or so ago, so I mean, some of that could be related to
No,
that.
usually
The skeptical side of me is thinking,
with the medication I started, it never affects my ADHD. I've been on this medication before. We had to go off of it, but now I'm going back on it. But it never really affects like my ADHD.
looks like Adam's being affected by it.
Yeah. Kelly, I'm sure your students, yeah. And it's like it's almost like a full moon kind of mood, like at work, but it's not full moon yet.
Okay,
so
here's another story that happened to me today. There's a couple that I've worked for out in Tintagony for a long time, like the past few years. They've had at least one good job every year for me. And every time I go remodel the house, something happens right before I start, or while I'm there doing the work. Not while I'm there, but like during the time frame of the project. So today was the first day that I started there, and he had just changed the LED bulb a week ago, and it blew. And LED bulbs are supposed to last for like 15
but
years.
You had a psychic or a medium type of experience there though one time when you've been there. So he's got a connection to this house.
Yeah, that was the house about a couple months ago around Christmas time. I think I told the story. Maybe it was Thanksgiving, but like where the lady was telling me she was going to see a medium, or she was going to do a group reading, and as we were talking, like I felt the person. So her husband's dad passed away. It was the year before on Christmas.
Yeah.
And it was a shock. It was it was on Christmas Day, and it was
totally unexpected,
all of a sudden thing. And so I was talking to her about that. She was going to talk to a medium and stuff like that, like in the next day or two. And as I was talking, a card fell off the door. They had Christmas cards taped up to a door, and one of them fell off. And I'm like, and she didn't see it. And I'm like, thinking to myself, tell me you didn't see that. But like, then like I would swear on a Bible that this guy's dad was telling me to tell her that he's here and it's okay, and I just didn't have the guts to do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I swear with everything in me, and you guys know me, I'm as sensitive as a rock.
Yeah.
But it almost came out anyway, even though I didn't want to say it.
He is sensitive. He just doesn't work on it. And I mean, I need to work on mine more, which I think that is something I'm going to really start trying to do. But,
yes,
but he actually,
Sorry,
I mean, he literally was like, he goes, I actually, and it was like, he was really excited it happened to him, but he was like kind of hesitantly scared at the same time with it. But
Shelly, it looks like Shelly's having kind of the same issues you're having.
Yeah. I mean, it's just been,
but that's how the energy shifts affect you. I mean, maybe they affect me that way too. I don't know. Maybe I just don't
you know what
it
is? It affects me, so it affects you because I wake you up. Because I'm like, nope, I'm bored. I'm waking you up.
Yep. So that's okay. And so Melody's had some stuff going on at her house again, which is, like I said, cheers. Awesome.
You have to keep track of when it happens, like the date, the times, and the time of day and that. Melody, so then we can keep track and see what happens.
Adam, do you want your key back? That is an inside joke.
That is okay. If anybody was at our wedding, they may get that joke.
Yep.
Had to be at the wedding to get that joke.
We're not going to go to the full explanation because that was a classic, and I don't ever want to ruin it if somebody else goes to a wedding and that comes out.
Yeah. Actually, my nephew's going to be using that, I think, at his friend's wedding.
We're definitely going to use that.
Yeah, so it will be fun.
Yeah, it's the ultimate toast.
Yes, it is. We have to thank Harold for that.
So, Shelly, have you gone on any ghost hunts or anything lately that you want to chat about or share or anything like that? You know, I know Adam went on one, and like I said, that video is 1/3 finished, but I've got all of the stuff loaded into the editing software, and it took a little while because I really wanted to watch everything a couple times and make sure that I wasn't being hypersensitive, like, because man, that next day when I saw, or actually that day, I mean, I was like, Adam was definitely down there with us and you can't convince me otherwise and blah, blah, blah. But I really wanted to, and I still believe that, but I wanted to watch all the footage twice and listen to the recordings twice and just really make sure that that's what happened. And there are two things that happened that, two definitive ones that no one can deny. I mean, anybody can say that we faked a video. I'm sure it's.
But for some of you that are joining, we went to Dundee. We did the remote. We're gonna have a video, a short version of it, a remote of it. We did cut. Jeff was down in the basement. I was up filming Adam, and we had some things happen, which will be in the video on that.
Yeah.
And so, but just because I know Melody and a couple other people might be interested in this, and because we were going to talk about, but we'll say it now. Mm-hmm. We're going to try to organize a ghost hunt of 10 people to go to Dundee with us to the old mill. We're going to rent the old mill. So if you are interested in going with, and we're going to do some experiments when we go.
Yep.
If you're interested in going, let us know, and we can give you how much it's going to cost. It's not going to be real expensive.
Right.
We're
if
just
I remember
dividing
right,
it out.
probably $35 to $45 a person. So
just depending on how many people we get to go. If we get the 10 people, it's going to be like 35, I think.
Yeah, I know we'll get 10 people.
We'll get 10 people. But so we don't have a date yet. We just have to find out as soon as we know how many people are wanting to go.
I think I want to do it. Date. I think I know we could fill 10 people up, but I think I'd like to do it like, so my grandson's first birthday is the 9th. So I'm thinking maybe like the end of April,
May,
or beginning of May is when I'd like to do it. So
and let me tell you, and it's a very hopping spot, and literally because normally I don't ever catch anything on my phone. But to actually see on my phone, unfortunately, I wasn't video recording at the time.
Since you guys are the first 3 to reply, I'm going to write your names down because you guys will get the first 3 invites.
Yeah. So, literally to see the orb on my phone, and then didn't unfortunately get it. But then also to hear a voice on the recording on my phone was just crazy because I have never heard that on my phone. And to get that right away was nuts. But also to see how Adam does a remote, but now knowing that I can interact with him and talk to him, and we got all these questions and all these different ideas we want to do now.
Yeah, and if we do a ghost hunt there too, Adam usually goes and like supervises if he's available. So like, if he's, the psychic thing and the medium thing, I don't ever want to say somebody is going to do something because I want them to. It's like they definitely have to be in the mindset to do it.
Yeah.
The energy they can't be having a bad day and do it, but like I would say there's a good chance we could talk Adam into maybe doing some other different experiment.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and we've got a couple other ideas that like I thought maybe a game of hide and seek or something like that.
Well, we don't want to give too much out because we don't want Adam to know. But we have, we've talked about several things just by having, because this was kind of like our trial of, okay, how is this going to work, and so now we can just build and grow on these experiments to see how well we can actually how well we can prove how these remotes work. And I think we're going to get, he's lots of twist on my arm. Yeah, I know. But like this, right?
Like seriously, dude, I really think, I mean, he had a hard time coming out, I think, which I don't know if you're used to that. Because
Yeah.
you definitely said you had a couple firsts happen to you while you did it.
But that was the first time he's been back in the mill.
Yeah, that's what
and
I'm
that's
saying.
the first
Yeah.
time he's done a remote inside the mill. So we had a little bit of them not wanting him to come back to us.
because it's the first time too that his ghost friends
saw him
in that form, and they were like not wanting him to go. I think maybe they thought maybe he passed away and he'd come to join them. I don't know.
Possible.
But he said they were grabbing onto his arms and like did not want him. And you could see it, and it's hopefully it comes off in the video, because I was videotaping him when it happened. But you could see he was not. It
wasn't Adam. Yeah, he wasn't Adam. He was here with us,
but he wasn't.
He was there with us, but
way.
He wasn't there with us. Yep. But I even say it on the video. I'm like, I can feel them pulling you. I mean, you could feel the pulling the energy, trying to pull him. They were just pulling the energy from us as well. Yep. It was interesting. So I can't wait to do our next experiments with that.
Yep. And it's it's just something. It's not that I want to put on a show for people like, let's bring our medium out and see what he can do. I think psychics and mediums, there needs to be more proof of their abilities, and I don't think it's that hard to achieve.
No,
and I'm surprised that no one really does it. I mean, granted, we're not doing the scientific method when we do this.
No,
but I mean, I think it's legit experiments.
But now what we're doing, the things that we're planning on doing will prove even a little bit more, because we're going to be doing a lot more different things. Just like at first we were like, oh, we want to have him do a remote while we're on the air and do something. But we're like, now we figured out, I mean, this will help us to figure out how to do that as well, to do a remote while we're on the air and figuring out stuff as well. Now that we know how to do this. There's
been a couple times too where I've tried to get him to do that while we were out on an investigation, but it just didn't work with his schedule and stuff like that. So it was like the perfect storm. It was all ready to go. And I mean, it was a good night to try something like that.
Yeah. So it was fun. And like I said, now we know a little bit more, and we'll take note of it, and now we can talks about it.
We did a private case too, where I was in one of the guests that we had scheduled on early this season was Jody, a friend of Carmen, and I'm sure Adam knows her too, but I was going to have her come on and talk about remotes, but she's a little camera shy, and that's cool. A lot of sensitive people and mediums and psychics are sensitive too when it comes to like being on camera and things like that. They're sometimes got anxiety and things like that, and I know Carmen has it really bad, or used to, but I think we've kind of broken her out of that a little bit, because she'll come on camera now. When I first met her, she would not.
She has to be comfortable with who she's coming on, because she'll come on with us, but it's funny because if she goes with Togue, she's Harold wants one. She's not as, I mean, she'll do it, but she does it much. And when I first met her, she just was like, nope.
Yep. Yeah. She would literally hide from the camera or say, can't film me or anything like that. But now she's getting, because it's not that I want to force people on camera, but like, she's got interesting things to say about cases or about, paranormal activity and stuff like that. So, I mean, of course I want to put her on camera, you guys want to watch Carmen, a medium, talk about paranormal stuff, or you want to watch me? Probably Carmen. She probably has a lot more insight as to what's going on.
On some stuff.
Another experiment that I want to do at a place like the mill is take a group of sensitives, put them in the same room with the same equipment, and let them do like a 20-30-minute session, see what happens, recorders, see what's captured, what legitimate evidence is captured. And then I want to take a group of skeptics in the same area and see what happens there. No, Shelly, you did okay, Shelly, you say that, but I always tell this story too. Like I was about 3 classes short of getting a civil engineering degree, but it was time to take speech class. I was so deathly afraid to talk in front of people that I quit college. And, now look at me. We've done lectures out at Owens, and we do a live show, and, I've definitely gotten over that fear, but like, Shelly, you did a great job. We interviewed you at a cemetery talking about the school in Bowling Green, and, I did not sense any panic or, anxiety or anything like that. So, I mean, you definitely, I'm sure you have that, but you don't show it. So I mean, that's a
Yeah. Well, if anybody has seen me do Togs as original, like when I first started with Togs, I wasn't a member of Togs yet, but I was doing some live Facebooks for them. You'll tell I was not very good with the camera, being on camera, because I did not like being on camera. I still am like, but I'm like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm more comfortable now. But
Melody, can we say where you work? I don't want to put that out there.
yeah,
Without
but
your
it, I
permission,
mean,
'cause that's a cool building.
it was like, yeah, he kind of threw me at it, and it was like, okay. And so then I started doing lives for him before I even was a member of Togs. And then I became a member of Togs, and that's kind of become my job.
Yeah, Harold a lot of times doesn't give you a choice.
No.
Here, we're going to go live. Go ahead and talk. We're live. You know, like
that, or he doesn't know how to work his phone, or his phone. And actually, I think at that point, his phone didn't work, so we had to use my phone. So he signed me in, and he never unsigned me from anything. So now that's how I got a hold of being the camera.
Then we drained like 25 grand out of his bank account. Because we have all of his passwords.
Oh, she said, yep, we can tell.
Okay, so Melody works at the old DeVilbiss School, which is the what is it now? The Toledo
Technology Academy.
Yeah. But it's that place definitely has a reputation for some haunted spots. I went there once. Melody got me in there once and let me go into. She talked to the maintenance man, and I want to go back there some other day too. But like, I don't know. I'm super busy all the time, and it's got to be on their schedule and blah blah blah. But like, so the maintenance man took me. There's tunnels underneath that school everywhere. I don't think they're more mechanical tunnels, like that's where all the plumbing runs through.
Yeah.
And it's more like it had to have been 150 degrees down there, because I think it was like their old ductwork system, because there was a chute up to every classroom, you know, and it was
crazy.
But it was like walking around in giant ductwork.
Okay.
And you want to talk about a creepy ass place? You didn't go in the tunnel with me, did you?
I did not.
Oh my God. That place was free. Yeah, they call it the catacombs. It's like that. It's scary.
Okay, Adam and Carmen, why would my palm of my hand just start hurting? Like, it feels like there is like pressure right here.
Because you stole my recorder.
No, I didn't. It hurt. Like, really, there's nothing there. I haven't touched anything. And it's like really hurting right there.
So another thing, Melody said, remember the old furniture from like the 30s? Yeah, there's all this like crazy desks and chairs, and it just like there's graffiti on the walls. Like, you know, you could tell like back in 1945, you know, kids skipped school and went down there and they, you know, ran around and probably scared the shit out of themselves and graffitied the walls and things like that. I mean, it's, you know, it's really cool. Like, it's even if there's not a ghost in that damn place, like, you're going to be freaked out walking around in there.
It's creepy because we can't, even up in the auditorium, it's creepy even up there, just sitting in the balcony area, because we'd actually help Melody with a play, and that
never aired because of freaking COVID.
Yeah, well, yeah, and so we actually okay, we will. I'll talk to you after. Okay. I'll be hitting you two up afterwards, because I've never had that happen, and it's like really freaking me out right now.
Minor chakras on the palms. I don't know what that means.
But yeah, so it's kind of creepy. And now my great uncle, actually, was it my great uncle? Yeah, my great uncle, he actually worked there at DeVilbiss, and he did. I don't even remember what he actually did there, but my uncle worked there, and there was just a lot of stuff that happened in that area. I mean, in that area of town too. So
they say too that like the library has some famous ghosts. I mean, there's a lot of paranormal stuff that goes on there. The people that clean there, we talked to a couple of them too, and they see shit all the time there. Like, it's I would love to, but see, the problem with a school is like the only way I would do it is if I had TPS's blessing, and there's no way they're gonna let people do that.
I used to work with Whitmer's theater, and the director for the Whitmer theater, she actually is a medium, and she's the one that predicted I was marrying a Jeff. Jeff.
I want to put this question out while you're telling a story, or before. So that's another question I've always had. Why are theaters haunted? So go ahead and finish your story.
So there literally was, there's a story that there's an old janitor that comes and he actually sits on the sits in one particular seat and watches all the theater things and that. When I started getting my spidey senses coming in, this was right before I met Jeff. I literally had the crap scared out of me. We were actually doing we actually were doing a play called Junie B. Jones. And it was really kid oriented. Like the teenagers were acting like little kids. And we were doing, the set was all like kiddie. We had a playground. We were making crayons out of pool tubes and that. And we actually, we always had that. And so that was one thing, but she's also connected with my uncle in that theater, because my uncle used to perform in that theater. But on that particular time, we literally, at that time frame, there was a couple kids that had passed away that attended Whitmer. And within like a short amount of time, there was like 3 kids that passed away. And we literally, the kids will play tricks on you, but there was no kids around. I went into this one room, and there's a room, and then there's a door, and it goes into another room. Well, I was just in this first room, and I started hearing giggling. And I'm like, all right, who's playing a joke on me? And there's nobody there. I opened up the other door. There's nobody there. And then I was like, all right, I walked back out, came back in. And sure enough, there's giggling again. And they're like, we can see you. And they just started laughing. And I just walked out. I'm like, okay, I'm done. And so then it was like, yeah. And then I just kept hearing little kids all the time giggling backstage. And I would think it was kids that were in the theater, and it wasn't them giggling because they weren't even there. So it was just like that. With that and play, I don't know how crazy it was, but we had a lot of stuff happen with that. I think that's the most I've ever seen in the theater with that one. Let's see. Theaters. Let's see. And they do. I don't think I've ever gone to a theater that I've not felt like someone or something's there. On Collingwood. I mean, I see shadows at Collingwood, and I feel like I'm always being watched when I go to Collingwood. Almost any theater I've gone to, I've always felt that way, that like there's somebody always behind me. And
but like, the rep is haunted. Like, there's, I don't know, theaters seem to be notorious. So what Don say?
He says that
theaters elicit a lot of emotion from the actors and the audience. Maybe, yeah, that's possible.
It's true. And I know for Whitmer's theater, their director, she very much tries to ground them, and very much really tries to ground them. And I don't know if that helps, but there's just a lot that, every show you would have something happen there.
So I think there's a lot of sensitive people involved in theater, a lot of like artsy people, open-minded people, probably a lot that believe in like, the crystals and the, chakras and the Reiki and all that stuff. I think maybe that has something to do with it. What did Shelley say way up here? Let's click on this. One of the old schools in Sylvania. Yeah, Central Elementary was haunted. I heard that too. They're experiencing hauntings. Wonder if they want an investigation of any kind. So yeah, I heard that one was too. There's actually, that's another common haunted type building, is a school.
Yeah.
And not even like the abandoned ones that, Kelly and Don run, but like there's a lot of, Whitmer's got lots of stories of haunted stuff.
And Jefferson.
I think Ottawa Hills, I've heard, like there's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hauntings around schools as well. And maybe that is, maybe that's an energy manifestation of a haunting, because, schools are just full of energy. Them kids and the teenagers and their crazy hormones and emotions and blah, blah, blah. And even the little kids, it's a ball of energy being output all the time.
Well, but then you think about it too. Kids are still open to a lot of that too. So a lot of kids, so
Yep. A lot
maybe
of
that's
younger
why,
kids are open
because
minded.
little kids still have are open minded. So it's like they know they can get attention there and be like, hey,
Because I think,
we're
you know,
here.
I do think, you know, a lot of little kids seem to see things and see ghosts, and we tell them, no, you didn't, no, you didn't, no, you didn't. So I think eventually it gets beat out of them that no, you didn't. Yeah, that was weird.
Like one side of my speaker went out. Like,
Did you bump a cord?
no.
No. Oh, well, I can still hear you. Can you guys hear us, hopefully? Did
I
you hit
can, like, my headphones are not working.
Yeah, they're.
The mics work. And no, okay, when you go like that, I can hear it in the mic. That is just really weird.
That's better.
Okay. That was
we had a
weird.
little loose connection or some crazy shit. Yeah, Kelly said, yeah. I mean, Kelly's a elementary school teacher. I don't know what grade you teach, Kelly. Oh, it went out again. No, well, it's not that.
Somebody's messing with our headphones
No,
now.
it's a loose connection.
Is it?
Yep. I can totally trace that down. So, yeah, Kelly, I'm sure experiences that all the time with that little elementary school ball of energy burst all the time. Kelly, has it been worse since COVID? Because I know someone I know has a daughter that like had real bad anxiety and what's the word? Not sensitivity triggers, but like sensory, yes. It was actually like kind of coming out of that and was back to being fine with going to school, but then COVID hit and it put this person's kid back to the beginning. Like, I mean, it's really weird because it's not like she doesn't like going to school. It's not that the kids are mean to her. She just like freaks out when she has to go to school. I don't think it's just school. I think it's leaving the house in general, but like school has been a real issue with
thinking them. Of that now.
Oh no, yeah, Melody.
TikTok,
probably worse with high school kids.
On TikTok, there was a couple teachers that have brought this up, that most of the kids that are in school now they're almost in like the end of the school phase.
Yep.
Because they've not gone to a full year of school in 2 years. So they said it's just like they're already like this. Okay, for as long as they've been in school now since September, they have now been in longer than they have been in 2 years in the school. And so it's almost time for that. Their bodies, and they're like, okay, we're done with school. We're ready to check out. And they said it's been like a couple teachers that have said that on TikTok lately, which has been interesting because a lot of teachers are just like, the kids are driving crazy already.
Yeah. So Kelly's making a comment that it's different, hard to explain. All the teachers I talk to feel like kids are Well, it is kind of like a video game because they've been on the Zoom meetings and all that, Zoom school. So they got used to that. And I'll tell you what, I played Xbox, and they don't give a shit when they talk to people on Xbox, because when you talk to somebody through a computer screen or even on an Xbox Live situation, you can talk a lot of shit and there's no ramifications for it. So if you get in that habit for 2 years of school, you go back to school, you don't know how to interact properly because you've been talking crap to these people for how long through a computer, and you're going to continue it in real life, and it's probably a lot worse.
Not only that, I've noticed some people, like TikTok again, some people say how they're since they've had to go back to work from being not working, when they went back to work and gradually adding on, like even work has been differently when they've had to work remotely and then they come back, but then they still have the social distancing. They said it was all different. Now for me, we never really we just had social distancing, but social distancing to us was the same thing we did. The only difference for us was when we moved out of our offices or cubicles, we would have to have a mask on. That was the only thing that changed for us. And we just couldn't eat in our lunchroom. We had to eat in our offices. Yeah. But I mean, for me, it really never, but for some people that are newer into the building, they said that's how they were. I mean, when they were closed for COVID, it was like, but we never closed. We were closed, but some of us had to go back to work because we had to handle for emergencies and that we had to deal with all the messages for emergency calls. And
I wonder too, if like maybe, I think as an energy, as a collective energy, I think we're definitely in the negative in this world today.
Yeah.
And I really think a lot of it maybe has to do with, the last couple of years, people have been cooped up in their house, working from home, doing this and that. but you can talk shit on a computer, and then there's no ramifications for it. So then you go back to interacting with people, and you continue to do that.
Yeah, well, we've
And
had
then-
this conversation because I used to be on the go all the time, wanting to be out of the house, wanting to be out of the house. I'm not like that anymore. I like going shopping.
We go to Myers on a Sunday, and both of us, like after about 15 minutes, it's like, we got to get the hell out of here. I don't know what it is about that store when it's crowded.
I literally don't know what I would do
can't deal
without
with it.
Amazon. I buy almost everything on Amazon or online because I can't deal with going to the store. Jeff goes to the grocery store more than I do. I think I went out with him. I went without him to the grocery store maybe a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago. I don't know, but I said, I'll go to the store. Don't worry about it. I went because I wanted to pick up something. I was in the store and having a panic attack. Like literally, it took me longer to try to get myself to get out of the store because I was having such a panic attack. Some of it was because I had a lot of energy coming at me, but I just could not tolerate people coming by me. I couldn't. I mean, it was going down a grocery aisle and people just, I couldn't do it.
I feel like with Myers,
really hard.
For some reason with Myers in particular, at least for me, I think the whole time I'm in the store grocery shopping, I feel like, and thank you all for joining Grocery Talk instead of Paranormal Talk.
Right.
But I think I always feel like I'm in someone's way. And I don't like being in the way.
But
and it's just like, I'm always,
I'm like that. But see,
just,
for you, that's like you at Myers, but I'm like that at Kroger's. I'm that at Target.
I don't get that way at Kroger's. Maybe because I'm more comfortable with that store. I don't know.
But it doesn't matter where I go.
Like
I said,
Myers
I
better.
used to love going shopping and I just don't like, I go get what I need and I come back. Like a trip for me going to like the dollar store, it would take me like 2 hours because I'd go to the dollar store, the Dollar Tree, the family. I mean, I'd go to them all that are in our area.
Yeah, she'll tell me on Saturday at like 9 o'clock. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the dollar store real quick. And like 4:30, she's coming home. Like,
yeah, and
she just went to the dollar store. Like,
yeah, and now it's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I'm back because I don't like to. And it's okay. So if people know me, not everybody knows me, but if you know me, you know I don't like stupid.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's $1.25 store now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know. We went there with my sister and I went the other day and we were like, I had to keep telling her, it's $1.25 now, not $1. It's $1.25. But I mean, I don't like stupid. Okay. And this is what people don't understand. I talk to, I don't know how many people a day. And I don't know, but I don't have to talk to them face to face.
You talked to almost 200.
Well, I talked to over 200 people today.
Right.
I
could never do that.
I know. I talked to 200 people. And mind you, some of the, I don't do stupid. Okay. And so it's very hard sometimes with my job not doing stupid.
But you're paid to do stupid.
Yeah. And sometimes people try my patience when I'm at work now. I literally have a squishy at my desk. It looks like a little cactus. That little squishy gets a workout right now and then it's funny because everybody that sits behind me, they know and very often if I go to the pen clicking on my desk, I'm about ready to shoot somebody in the eyes with this pen because it's like, that's how bad it is. But usually you can't hear the squishy, but I just don't do stupid people. And it doesn't matter if I work with them, if they're on the phone, I just don't do it. Or if they're in the office, I just don't do it. And lately they come out of the woodwork. Like,
people are just nasty.
And so people are like, and they're like,
the last couple of
yeah,
years,
oh yeah,
they just got nasty.
But so people just laugh though, because they're like, you are so like outgoing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not a people person though. I do not do people well. And I said, maybe it's better that I don't see people eye to eye and behind. And grant you, sometimes some people can be very frustrating when I talk to them, but I mean, sometimes, I get a wide variety. Like, so I get, okay, if this puts in perspective, I talk to Amish people a lot during the day. Amish people are not what you expect. Just putting it out there. They're not what you expect. Just watch
Amish Mafia.
Amish people. Those are my roughest ones. And that part of my day is the hardest, is when I talk with the Amish people. But it's not just them, but there's other people. But I mean, it just is very difficult because, like I said, I just can't. And I'm not saying that the Amish are stupid. It's just the way they approach things. And yeah, that's just another story I can't go into. But
getting to Kelly's comment, like, I don't know. It's not even a generational thing. It's not even the younger generation. It's people my age.
Yeah.
I have just gotten nastier.
Sometimes he'll be playing the games though. And I'm like, but even at the store, I've
not
had
even just
more,
the games, just some of the
but,
so there's Facebook pages, and I'm sure people know of it, like Toledo Dumpster Fires. It's dedicated to bullying people.
Yeah.
And it's all freaking adults. It's not young people.
But
and they just bully the shit out of people.
Even my sister had an incident at the grocery store the other day. It's like everybody is just so nasty.
And Lisa is the nicest damn person on the planet. Like,
and for her, okay. And she's not like me. I speak my mind, not like her. She will hold back, but she did not hold back and even her husband was just like, where'd that come from? So
yeah, when you piss Lisa off, you've crossed the line because she's like me. Like, it takes a lot for me to go off on someone, like a whole lot.
See,
way
now
more.
For me,
and usually if people are doing something to me, I keep my mouth shut. But if someone were to do something to you or somebody I know, that's when I jump in.
See, and that's the thing. I'm usually that way.
My kid's the same way.
But I'm usually that way that I won't. I mean, you have to push me so far, and then I'm gonna burst. But when it comes to doing stupid things or saying stupid things, I'm not gonna hold back anymore. It's like I'm Melody, like, seriously.
I've got other friends that are teachers, and I don't know how you people do it. Like, seriously, God bless all you teachers, because the bullshit that you have to put up with, if you try and discipline a kid, it's your fault, not their fault for what they did. It's, I would almost think that if you discipline a kid, you pretty much can guarantee that their parents are going to come and scream at you.
Yeah.
Well, they could be guilty as hell, but damn well that these parents are going to come in and just start screaming. It's like, I don't know, man. I couldn't do it.
I feel bad. Like Melody said, it's like before COVID, everything now is a problem. And it's like, sadly, and that's how, but it seems like that. It's like, they want to blame you for everything. And but it's like, my thinking is, well.
And one of my teacher friends teaches inner city Toledo school. And, like, how do you blame the teacher when you don't send your kid to school prepared to learn? Like, I mean, there's.
But then this kills me too, because it's like when these kids were at home and the parents had to help these kids, all these parents are saying, oh my God, I appreciate the teacher, how much the teacher's doing, da 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 da. But then now that these kids are back in school, they're like, you teachers. I mean, it's like, seriously, it's like,
I did a job and I listened to online kindergarten for 3 days.
Oh, this was fun.
If I had to do that, I would kill myself. Like, if I had to have my kid do schooling that way as a kindergartner, the first 45 minutes was everybody jumping on late, and they all had the same excuse that it was a connection issue. The teacher would say, yep, we get it. It's a connection issue. No problem. See you later. And they would want to explain it for 10 more minutes. It's like, I've already told you it's okay. Shut the fuck up and get off the computer. Like, then the next person would chime in. Then after that, after all that bullcrap got settled down, it was, little Johnny's over there on screen number 2. Like, dude, you're not paying attention. We need to mute you for a couple. Like, oh my God. And the whole time, the kid whose mom's house I was working at, she's just sitting there coloring and doing her work and stuff. Like, oh my God.
I see. And I laugh because this is something, because I worked at an autistic school. I worked at an autism model school. I cannot imagine. Okay. And I worked with severe behaviors and nonverbals. I cannot imagine with everything that's going, I could not imagine teaching in that set of that classroom anymore. I don't think, and I know a lot of my friends that work there are taking on different jobs now, but a lot of them are now having kids and that, but I just could not imagine. I just couldn't imagine being in that, I mean, I see what it did with my brother, who's, he's got a cognitive disability. But as an adult, I see and he's
COVID
done pretty,
him bad. It really
but not just him, but his housemates. And
it was just the isolation. Like, they couldn't go anywhere. They don't understand why.
like
Really,
day
and
hab.
it's-
Day hab's their thing.
Man.
And I mean, no day hab. And then with day hab, they lost
couldn't
one
have
of the
guests for a year.
Yeah.
Like we couldn't even
we
go
didn't
see him
get
for
see
like
him
a
for
year.
Yeah, it
He
was.
had to miss, a
He
couple
missed
holidays,
yeah.
which like, I mean, for
we
them,
took
that's,
things to
he
him,
looked
but
forward to it. Like that was
yeah,
the time I get to go home and see my
Yeah.
family. It's not that they don't visit him or anything, but it was
but
like
it was really
those
hard.
were days that he knows that, hey, I'm going to get to go home that
And
day.
now it's hard.
Like he looks forward to it months in advance.
Yeah, and now it's hard trying to get back into a routine with it because, well, now it's going to be a little bit easier because I'm going to be working out not but 5 minutes from his house, so he's a little happy about that because he'll see me. I'll stop and see him more often.
I can't imagine like even say third graders, kids that are third graders this year, and anybody that's looking for paranormal, you can leave now because we've obviously wandered on to school talk, but like third graders, this is like their kindergarten.
Yeah.
Or maybe not third graders, second graders. Kindergarten and first grade was taken away from them pretty much. Like I
have a friend that her daughter
weird.
started kindergarten during all this.
I think we're going to find out in about 5 or 10 years that like that whole lockdown thing really, really screwed up kids. I really think that, there's going to be
well,
some
and I think
studies done
somebody
and
had put
it's gonna
that
be a
just
mess.
even the kids interacting with themselves are harder. I mean, I've noticed that this is weird because I obviously I have adults. I don't have children. But hearing the people talk at work about their kids and how they interact with people, they don't interact like normal kids that we know normal kids should act. They don't. Almost all their interactions is on computer or phone. They don't interact at all. And like you would go play, like literally one of the girls, they were saying that their son was going to play with their friend. So going to play with the friend was going to play on the computer.
Yeah. Yep.
It wasn't, I mean, the way she was talking,
Yeah.
It sounded like he was going to go outside and play. And then one time they went outside to play and it was 5 minutes and they were back in. It's like, yeah, we're going to play online. It's
well, like even my kids, I mean, they're older now, but like in high school, we had to beg our oldest son to do stuff. All he wanted to do was hang out with his friends on Xbox.
See, my kids were different because my girls were involved, and my girls were extremely involved in everything in school.
No, Kelly, you're right. I mean that it's the whole like really it is the dopamine. And I saw it with my younger son. Like it's definitely a quest for likes. And man, if you send somebody a message and they don't reply within a 30-second, 60-second time frame, like you're devastated. Like you're anxious waiting for that return message. I don't know.
Yeah.
I definitely think cell phones and social media have ruined, I don't want to say ruined society because things are definitely easier
wait
with
a minute.
them.
Okay, because we were going to talk about this. So somebody else is addicted to it too, but not so much social media.
TikTok addiction.
Somebody has it worse than me because
no.
Okay, this is a fact. Okay,
here's Dana at 9:00. I'm going to bed. Good night. And tuck her in and give her little kisses.
Okay.
11:30 at night. I hear TikTok going in the background.
But now I come in here because I need to do something on his phone in a setting for Boo Productions.
With us. How's it going, Harold?
So, and this was yesterday. I said, "Hey, I got to. I need your phone," but he was watching something, so I didn't do it. I said, "I need your phone because I got to check a setting to make sure it's for Boo Productions." Or I need to see your phone. And he goes, why? You're going to do that thing that they saw on TikTok. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, you know that thing that they make your phone. So if you plug it in, I'm like, I have no idea to this day, I still do not know what he was talking about.
That's cool, Fox. Don't worry about it.
But all I needed was to see his phone so I could check a setting to make sure it was correct because something wasn't linking up with the Boo Productions on our Facebook. And so he thinks I'm going to say, well, I do trick him a lot or I do scare him a lot.
See, like,
so it's like,
there's a reason behind my logic.
But
it wasn't just
I was like, I'm not
me being paranoid.
He was getting all freaked out. I'm like, I'm not doing that. So
no, I thought she was going to put something on my phone that I saw on TikTok where this girl's boyfriend picks up his phone and she's filming him. And she says, go ahead and plug your phone into the charger. So he plugs it in and says, ooh, plug it into me, daddy, in the Alexa voice or the Siri voice. And then he unplugs it and it's like, ooh, no, plug it in more. It's just like this really nasty
Yeah,
shit
and I didn't.
comes out of the speaker. It was
Yeah,
funny.
and I was not doing that, so it was like, okay. So I said, now you gave me an idea though. So now I'm like trying to find it on TikTok, and I can't figure out what it is. I'll
Yep.
find it eventually.
So we're 1:15 right now, so let's try and wrap it up, I guess.
Okay.
It was definitely a fun chat, but I do want to hang on one thing before.
I know.
So I've got on my list, and if I miss somebody, chime in and say you want to go.
And if you
So
don't,
we do the Dundee thing. Shelly, Kelly, and Jerry are on the list right now.
and if you
And me
still,
and Dana,
yeah.
so that's 5.
So you can tell if you don't want to stay on here, or if you're not 100% sure yet, you can message one of us and let us know that you're you want, or you're thinking about going, or you're possibly interested, so we can kind of keep that in mind. So when we
And what I might do
planning.
is check availability dates for like end of April or early May, and I may start a group chat with all of you guys. Harold, end
We're
of
not
April,
sure yet.
early May. Harold, I know you're going to want to go, so I've
Yeah.
kind of already put you in the count. So I'll start a group chat with everybody and put the available dates they have around that time frame, and then we'll pick one, because I will definitely fill the 10 spots easy.
Yeah.
So and it's a very cool, active place.
Okay. So now that I have learned how to use my Cricut, we are moving on to
Welcome to the Homeboy Shopping Network.
That's right. So I'm going to be starting to make shirts, like paranormal shirts. Actually, Jerry's going to be excited because he's going to get his first Boo Production shirt here pretty soon. I'm getting ready to do him this weekend, so he'll get his official Boo shirt.
It's not bad there, Melody. It's all.
No,
good
you
ghosts.
would be okay, Melody.
You'd be fine.
You
there.
would be fine
It's
there.
not like Collingwood.
It's not like Collingwood. You would be okay there.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't take you to Collingwood, but I would
This one
definitely take you here.
This would be a good one for you. So I've been doing that. I'm going to be working on stickers, and now this is the newest thing, but I want to make sure we have interest. But if you are interested in this now, we can actually get these done now, because I have an agreement with someone to make these for us. But we now have.
So imagine haunted South Main School.
Yeah, so you could do, and you can do. So this one says is for togs. It's a black one. Then I have a white togs one, and then we have. This was my first one that I got. And so it's like that. We have, where is it? That one. Oh, that one's a Boo Productions. And then there's another Boo Productions. These are just like plain ones, because we didn't really do anyone. This one is actually, my daughter hasn't seen this one yet, but that one's hers for Easter. But you can get them with designs on them. We had somebody actually had for the fire station put on them. Someone had sunflowers, breast cancer, autism. I mean, you can pretty much get them made to do it. If anybody is interested in these puns, let me know. Message us on Boo Productions on the Messenger, or you can message me on my personal page.
Don't message me, because I'll forget.
Yeah, don't message him, because he won't. I can give you I can get you set up with what we're going to do with these. If I get enough people interested in them, I may start making them myself. But until then, I actually have an agreement with my friend that makes them. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of like gonna do a side business with my friend with them. But if anyone is interested, let me know, and I can give you I can show you almost anything that they can make. They are pretty cool. There's different prices for them, so depending on what the designs are and that on them. But if you're interested, just hook me up on that. And so eventually, pretty soon here, you may start seeing some.
You made some pretty cool stickers too.
Yeah, I've made some pretty cool stickers. Yep. So Harold's got my first attempt at a togs one, and we have several.
You made some shirts.
I've made shirt. I made
St.
actually
Patrick's Day shirts. She made this cool little. I can't believe that you would ever be able to make money doing that. But that little plate thing was.
I made a
really,
plate
really
with
cool.
a saying my mom. Well, I don't want to say it.
Yeah.
I made this plate for my mom. That she wanted me to do,
but it was really cool.
I've done quite a few different things, but the shirts I made a whole bunch, because we're going to be in the Shamrock Shuffle next weekend at the Blarney, so we made team shirts, which are kind of cool. I'm getting, like I said, this weekend is the Boo Production shirts, so Jerry, myself, and Jeff will all have our own shirts, because we have our first version of shirts. We're going to redo them, and now we have a second version of the shirts that will be done this weekend. So we're going to do the pens. I'm trying to come up with some other stuff that we can do, but right now these are the things we're working on. So
I'm going to ask Harold a question.
Oh, Harold. Yeah, since he's here, send me the file. You know what I'm talking about. I've been asking you for a while.
That's Dana's question, not mine. So I really want to have, and hopefully next week, maybe we can have Harold and Butch on. I think that would be a cool show. That would be
a cool show.
Yep. And let those two talk shit to each other.
On St. Patrick's Day?
I guess it would be, right?
It would be St. Patrick's Day because the 18th is the shuffle.
Damn, do we want to do a show on St. Patrick's Day?
I don't know. A lot of people will be drunk.
Nothing wrong with that. We could drink.
It's like, boom, shots.
Maybe we can.
Maybe we do that. We'll do it on St. Patrick's Day. And if you hear
we had Krampus on during Christmas and Santa. Maybe we can find a leprechaun. But we can do, maybe we have a word that if that word is said, we got to do a shot. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know you guys will argue. That's good entertainment, Harold.
That'll be an interesting one because we have the Shamrock Shuffle, which is nothing. That's nothing but a yeah. Jeff, that's the first time 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago? I don't even remember. That's the first time Jeff met my family, and that was a very interesting night. So
it was. Okay, I got time to tell a 30-second story, 60 seconds maybe. So I decided, me and Dana were texting, blah, blah, blah. She's downtown. She's like, yeah, come on down and meet us. And I'm like, yeah, I'll come down and meet you guys. So as I got there, I'm talking to her to find out where they're at. She is locked in a freaking porta-john with a goddamn leprechaun necklace that's spinning and making her sick because it's lighted and it's flashing the lights. And she's like, I don't know where I'm at, but you got to get me out of here. And she's going,
I couldn't turn it off. I couldn't get my necklace off. Yeah. I'm stuck in the bathroom. I can't get the door unlocked.
This is another good St. Patty's Day memory. So
oh my gosh,
one year, this was 2017, I think. So maybe 16. Harold and Becky and Butch and Uncle Jeff went down to the Buxton Inn, which is haunted. You know, that's where they did the Estes thing on camera for the first time that I recall them doing it. Maybe it wasn't the first time, but so they were there the night before we were, but me and Robert went down and got a room and spent the night down there the next night. But we were doing Irish car bombs in the bar because we were there on St. Patrick's Day, kind of investigating, just having fun, filming, interviewing, blah, blah, blah. So as we do these Irish car bombs, it's where they drop a shot of, God, what's in that? It's Bailey's. I think that they drop in it.
Is it?
But if Bailey's, you don't drink it quick, it's a stout. There's definitely an Irish whiskey, like a Guinness beer, and I think Bailey's. But if you don't drink it quick,
it
curdles. So I mean, you want to slam it. And so Uncle Jeff takes one little sip, he puts it down. He's like, I can't do it. Harold slides it in front of me. So I drink two of these damn things, and I'm just like, oh my God. On the second one, I'm just like, don't puke. Like it was, 32 ounces in like, a minute or so. Like it was, and, Harold every year on St. Patrick's Day, him and Becky like to have a race online. They usually go live and they do their Irish car bombs and they all have a race. Maybe we could do that. We could start the show with a live Irish car bomb race with Harold and Becky. And if Butch wants to do it.
Can I do a fake one?
Yeah, you can do a fake one.
That would just be too much alcohol. Well,
I think for the record, Becky won last year. Just saying.
Send that mixer.
Yeah. Dude, my stomach was that is crazy. So we're at $1:23 right now, so we should probably wrap it up. I'm gonna play the intro one more time just so y'all can see it because it, I'm proud of it.
Intro.
Yep. So we will see you all next week. Hopefully, like I said, maybe we can do Harold and Butch and maybe have some St. Patty's Day fun. And but I'm going to play this thing and then we are done. So thanks everybody for watching and we'll see you next week.
He needs some of these around his ankles.
He probably does.
Yeah. Oh, well, like that too.
Like I said, I know a lot of people know your grandparents, Chris, and they know the stories from the the movies and all that other stuff. But tell us about yourself. Like what? you know, what are you all about, and what's the foundation all about? Yeah, leave me out. It's been trying to leave me out of this whole show.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's been crazy. So yeah, everybody, just so you all know, tonight, Dana is going to actually kind of, you know, like run the show.